Have you ever felt that crushing weight of expectation in your career? You know, that feeling that you have to do well, that you just can't mess this up? Well, if that sounds familiar, then this is for you. We're about to dive into a really powerful mindset shift that can turn all that pressure into real, actual growth.
I mean, this is the million-dollar question, isn't it? You're ambitious, you want to succeed, you want to get to that next level, but it feels like the harder you push, the more stuck you get. So how do you break that cycle? Let's unpack the one mental shift that can turn all that pressure into a powerful engine for your career.
All right, let's kick things off with a scenario that I think a lot of us are going to find pretty familiar. It's about a young developer, just starting out, who is really feeling the heat.
Okay, so picture this. You land a new developer job in a super competitive tech hub. Awesome, right? But before you can even get your feet wet, you're hit with extra duties. Translation, business meetings, the whole shebang. And then the big one drops, your first major business trip overseas. Suddenly, the expectations are sky high, and you are just completely overwhelmed by this intense need to prove you belong there.
And this quote right here, this gets to the absolute heart of the problem. It's a total paradox, isn't it? The very desire to succeed is creating the tension that's holding you back. And that tells us something really crucial. The answer isn't to just try even harder. The answer lies somewhere else entirely.
So, the solution isn't some new productivity hack or a fancy management technique. It's a fundamental shift in how you see everything. And honestly, it's probably not what you're expecting at all.
In fact, this entire journey, this whole transformation, it really just begins with two simple words. They're the key that unlocks everything else.
고맙습니다. Thank you. That's it. That's the secret. Before you even start thinking about how to perform, the very first step is to just recognize the opportunity you've been given and simply be thankful for it.
Now hold on, this isn't just about saying the words thank you. It's about really deeply understanding where you are. It's this recognition that this high-stakes opportunity, that business trip, it didn't just fall out of the sky. Your company created it. Your colleagues made it possible. Your leaders trusted you with it. Your job, in this sense, is a kind of gift. And when you start from that place of gratitude, your entire relationship with the pressure just changes.
And here's where it gets really interesting. This way of thinking isn't just a warm, fuzzy feeling. It's presented here as a core competency. It's a skill, something you actually have to develop to get to that next level.
I mean, just let that sink in for a second. This is such a powerful idea. The ability to genuinely feel and express gratitude is basically a prerequisite for moving up in your career. It's the foundation that all other growth is built on. And if you don't have it, you just stay stuck.
So how do you build this skill? Well, this gives us a fantastic roadmap. You start small with your immediate world, thanking your company for the chance they gave you. But then you expand that circle outwards. You realize your company doesn't exist in a vacuum. It's supported by a whole society, the people who clean the office, the vendors who supply it. And then you go even bigger, recognizing that your life, your work, it's all standing on the shoulders of the collective effort of all of humanity. Seeing that interconnectedness, that's the skill.
Okay, so this is a pretty big idea. How do we make it practical? Well, the source material gives us this brilliant little mental model for this. It's called the cup principle.
This is the choice, right here. It's a fork in the road. Are you working just to get something, a salary, a promotion, whatever? Or are you working to give something, to create real value for the person who's actually going to use what you make? See, the first mindset is all about you. The second one is all about them. It's such a small mental shift, but it has absolutely massive consequences. And here are those consequences, laid out plain and simple over a 30-year career. If your mindset is just, I work to get paid, you stagnate. 30 years later, you're still just making cups, just getting by. But if your mindset is, I work for the user, well, that unlocks everything. Your creativity explodes, your thinking gets bigger, and you naturally grow into a leader who makes a real, lasting impact.
Now, if you're hearing all this and thinking, great, another thing I have to try to be perfect at, I want you to just take a breath. Because this final piece of wisdom here is the most liberating part of all.
And look at that. We've come full circle. Remember that initial feeling of being totally overwhelmed by trying so hard? Well, the advice is simple. Don't force it. The second you start trying too hard to be grateful or trying too hard to live by the cup principle, you fall right back into that same old trap of pressure and tension.
This really gets to the core of it. These ideas, they aren't a strict set of rules. They're not a checklist you have to complete by the end of the day. They're more like a new perspective, a truth that you just kind of let yourself absorb over time.
You see, real transformation, it happens organically. You let these ideas sink in, and slowly but surely your behavior will just start to change on its own, naturally. So for that young developer, the advice wasn't to memorize some principle. It was way simpler. It was just go on your trip, and while you're there, just be genuinely, honestly thankful for the opportunity. That's it. That's the only starting point you ever need. So, as we close this out, I'm just going to leave you with this one question. Forget the pressure to completely overhaul your career mindset overnight. Just start small. Look at everything you have in front of you right now. What is the first thank you can start with today?